So, now that LEGO Piece by Piece has come out, we've heard a little bit more of what the LEGO Movie cinematic franchise intends to do next, and so they've gone forward to announce not more celebrity biopics or any sort of follow-up with Warner Brothers and Emmett. No, the LEGO cinematic franchise is putting together 3 live-action projects into production with Universal. That's right, I said live-action LEGO movies, whatever exactly that entails. We're in the new Universal era of LEGO now. They made a deal to do the next few movies as opposed to Warner Brothers in the past, and after starting things off with animating a musical biopic of Pharrell Williams, which already a bit of an oddball choice, they're following up with these 3 projects, including as well another go at a Ninjago movie with the original Ninjago TV writers? Okay, alright. Doubling down, if you say so. And like, it's not at all what I was expecting. I mean, are we seriously doing live-action remakes with animated movies now? Thankfully, it won't be straight just the LEGO movies again. Warner Brothers have literally blocked them from using any of the characters that originated within the first round of LEGO movies, so no Chris Pratt dressed in orange high-vis at least popping up. Nonetheless, I don't think I'm alone in being slightly concerned about this new direction for the LEGO franchise. And I'm more than prepared to be proven wrong, because they do actually have some major directing talent involved. I mean, for a start, we've got Patty Jenkins doing one of them, hopefully getting better results than the second Wonder Woman movie, as well as frequent Edgar Wright collaborator Joe Cornish, the director behind Attack the Block. And just on the title alone, that already seems kind of perfect for a LEGO franchise, you know? Before even then factoring how good Attack the Block as a movie actually is. However, for me, of course, currently, this new direction is concerning for one glaring reason. We have yet again another building-based franchise heading for live-action animated franchise bait. And let's just say it's not looking good for when the rest of the industry is doing it. Do I need to remind you of the Minecraft movie trailer? Why is LEGO looking at this and saying, bet, we'll do the same? Because honestly, this is all I can currently think of. A ragtag bunch of characters get sucked into a world of horrifically executed block-based characters. Whoa! Literally the Playmobil movie. Except this time it's LEGO, because apparently even 5 years on, the new thing is still to just continue ripping off the Jumanji reboot, which in and of itself is a reboot. And you may think I'm just digging on the same old complaints for an old movie that's not relevant anymore, but they've literally employed the same director from those movies as well. Jake Kasdan, who did both Jumanji movies, is the 3rd director, joining Jenkins and Cornish. And I would not be surprised in the least if they've literally got him to regurgitate the same premise with LEGO. It's interesting as well, because LEGO in other forms have done some interesting things. Remember when LEGO did a collaboration with Fortnite and they made an open world there? Is that maybe what they're going to animate? Because that's almost faintly more interesting than Minecraft LEGO. And if it is Minecraft LEGO, and they're probably going to smash together any celebrity voice acting cast they can, as they've already done the likes of Chris Pratt and Morgan Freeman, will this one have Jack Black too? I mean, it's almost too fitting at this point, isn't it? Jumanji, Minecraft, and LEGO. Only in Jumanji, they actually put some effort into his costume and makeup. More worryingly, as I've mentioned earlier, this premise almost entirely sounds like it aligns with the plot of the Playmobil movie. That iconic, terrible LEGO movie ripoff. Literally one of the earliest movie videos I made was about that movie, and spoiler alert, it's incredibly bad. If we don't have Chris Pratt around anymore, being the Mario insert, at least we have the Anya Taylor-Joy insert for Princess Peach over there. And yes, in case you don't know, that one also entails actual live-action characters and people getting sucked into the crazy world of Playmobil. Daniel Radcliffe is a spy. And considering the Playmobil movie was put into production as a direct result of the original LEGO movie back in 2019 at the time, it'd just be incredibly ironic for this new LEGO movie to be an imitation of the imitation of itself. Literally becoming a parody of itself, not in the well-written, witty, parodious formatting of the original LEGO movie. God, there's a lot of irony here. Oh, but just to be clear, no one has 100% confirmed that this is the basic premise, but honestly, I can't think what else a live-action LEGO movie would entail. Technically, the original LEGO movie was live-action to a part, we just didn't call it that because it was a small insert, you know? But it is here, and it is confirmed to be happening, because very specifically, the Universal era of LEGO is already underway. Just last month, and for us in the UK, a couple days ago, Piece by Piece by Piece was released and now seems to be opening up for biopics going in all sorts of strange directions. There's a Robbie Williams movie coming out with an animated Planet of the Apes style mocap monkey. Glad Caesar found work. And critically, Piece by Piece has actually performed pretty solidly, holding an 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. However, as for box office, well, on a $16 million budget, this thing has only grossed $9 million across almost a month. For animation, this is pretty low budget, and yet it still hasn't actually made its budget back. So, you know, I don't know if necessarily they know how to do business, but they do creativity, yeah. And of course, don't get me wrong, they weren't expecting this to be on the level of the mainline LEGO movies, and it's a good job because even the original LEGO Ninjago movie, which was considered a disappointment for the time, still grossed over $100 million. However, I think they were hoping for a little bit more than $9 million, you know, otherwise they wouldn't have spent $16 million making it. So on paper, the Universal LEGO era has got off to a kind of disastrous start. I mean, for context, that Megalopolis movie that everyone's been taking a dump on, that still made more money than Piece by Piece. Granted, Piece by Piece didn't cost $120 million to make out of someone's pocket, but it's still worth noting. Even still, the very existence of Piece by Piece probably allows Universal to keep their license going with LEGO Movie, as we actually know that Universal acquired the rights to LEGO for 5 years only, and in order to retain said rights, they had to release something within those 5 years, so Piece by Piece is the qualifying number there. Very cheap, chuck it out, fair enough. It buys them a good chunk of time to put other movies into production. However, that kind of leads into another thing that worries me. Are they commissioning these 3 movies all at once just to hold on to the license? Because that's the kind of thing that Sony's been doing with the Spider-Man characters, and, you know, they've certainly made some choices over there. You know, I don't exactly want us to be going into an era of the LEGO franchise's equivalent of Morbius and Madam Web, you know? Hey there, thank you for making it to the halfway mark of this video. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you very much for getting this far, and I'll let you get back to the rest of the video. Bye-bye. Admittedly, the directors they've got on board for this seems to be the one saving grace. Patty Jenkins, Joe Cornish, and Jake Kasdan all have solid movies on their resume. I'm not sure how Kasdan's new Christmas movie, Red One, will turn out, but to be fair for the guy, I'd also be struggling to make a decent movie if I was dealing with The Rock peeing in bottles and turning up 4 hours late. Now, digging into the specifics of these productions, I couldn't actually get a clear distinction of whether the 3 projects from those 3 include this new Ninjago movie project, which specifically gets its own separate call-out, or that this actually represents a 4th LEGO project. I hope not. Just focus the time and energy on the 3, please. However, from what we do know about this Ninjago project specifically, is that the original Ninjago TV series showrunners, Kevin and Dan Hageman, are returning to write the movie. As an outsider, I went into the first Ninjago movie kind of unaware of the wider lore and just watched it on its own merits, which, while I think there are a lot of genuinely funny moments that can be enjoyed, and maybe the movie was marked down too harshly, I can see where the criticism lies there. By the point of actually watching this movie, it was also clear that carrying the same comedic sensibilities as the LEGO movie was gonna get repetitive after a while. However, what I didn't take into account at the time for the movie's mixed audience reception was that there was a lot of fans hoping it would follow the lore of the actual series, which apparently it very much didn't do, and just goes to show further mismanagement behind the project's conception. Because you see, Ninjago is actually a pretty big franchise in the LEGO ethos. This movie very much happened because of the success of the toys and the series, and naturally that meant the fan base was fueling that success. However, in making the actual movie, they didn't factor in 2 key things. The fan base did not automatically mean a wider audience would go out and see something called the LEGO Ninjago movie, and despite the fan base ultimately being the one guaranteed to go and see this movie, you'd geared its content more towards the wider audience that didn't turn up, leading to a situation where the people you made it for weren't there, and the fans who were there weren't happy. I'm sure you could still factor in that trademark quirky LEGO humor into a Ninjago project, but I just think fans were looking for the mythology to be taken a little more seriously than, say, a cat jumping onto the LEGO set. In many ways, this movie was more concerned with how Ninjago fits into the LEGO movie continuity than the actual Ninjago one. So bringing in the original showrunners seems to be the perfect change of pace where the fans' mythology are concerned. Even if it isn't connected to the TV series, this will immediately have a lot of faith restored into the project and will actually be run by people that know what they're doing. However, what I find interesting with this project is that unlike a couple of the other projects, this one isn't being called an animated live-action hybrid. This one is simply being referred to as live-action, which raises some big questions. From where I'm standing, this implies that the movie will be a straight-up fantasy epic, incorporating the Ninjago mythology with live-action characters only, which is significant because that could entail the first LEGO project without a single LEGO brick in sight. Crazy. Now, of course, LEGO will be sure to produce a steady toy line to tie into the movie, whatever the case, but this could be a LEGO movie that is completely LEGO-less. Sure, in Ninjago City itself, they can absolutely adopt the LEGO aesthetic into the buildings and vehicles and all that, providing that it doesn't look like everyone's living in an actual plastic-looking LEGO set. However, otherwise, I actually can kind of see how this could actually not include the LEGO element at all, which is, in one way, great to see a series take on this mythology, but I can also see it backfiring a lot. LEGO is the huge brand with the mass appeal, with Ninjago just being a branch of that. Will people really buy into a Ninjago movie that claims to be connected to LEGO whilst presenting no LEGO-ish attributes on screen? It's hard to say, to be honest, but I definitely think there's a challenge that they are gonna have to address. In fairness, when the LEGO element was prioritized over Ninjago in the animated movie, that didn't really work out either, so I guess it's worth a go going to the far other end of the spectrum. It's very creative at the very least to think about in that way, as much as it might ironically not use any animation, but it's creative, bold ideas that Universal are coming up with, it seems. They definitely see something in the project, despite that first movie underperforming. We'll see on that front, I suppose. As for the other projects, I'm still incredibly worried. Who knows, Minecraft may end up being amazing, but its trailer is not exactly a good indicator for either it or what a live-action hybrid LEGO movie could look like. Although with Warner Brothers being the ones producing Minecraft, maybe this is actually a W for Universal now being responsible for LEGO. Can't blame the LEGO group for moving away from these guys. I just hope that the spirit of other LEGO media is maintained, even with on-screen actors involved. Because with that original LEGO movie, Lord and Miller absolutely got the spirit of those homemade fan films, and of course, the video games as well. We're in a world where a character can fall over, break apart, and then tumble back together. It immediately invites a certain sensibility. Across all 4 LEGO movies, as many criticisms as can be had about them, they never lost that sense of fun and vibrant sense of humor we associate with the brand. What makes Piece by Piece such an interesting case is that clearly, under Universal, that vibe can still be recreated. By all accounts, Piece by Piece is visually a direct recreation of those other LEGO movies. And I think that's down to one important factor that gives me hope. The LEGO group itself still has a huge controlling interest in all of these projects, and why shouldn't they? It's their incredibly successful IP. The video games, the TV series, the movies, they've been involved in all of it. They're the ones who've brought Kevin and Dan Hageman back from the Ninjago series. They care about their brand more than any other force within these projects, and whatever comes out of this new, unknown Universal era, I reluctantly trust them to make sure that the creative spirit behind LEGO and its fans won't get lost. They nailed it a couple times in the past. They're trying something funky and creative now. Let's just see if they can take this interesting idea further in the future. But if it doesn't, they're in big, big trouble. But if Piece by Piece shows us anything, a movie about creativity that expresses this through a brand associated with creativity, I'd say don't panic quite yet, but it certainly is interesting to ruminate on. On that note though, I shall finally end it off there. My name's been Daz. Thank you very much for reaching the end of this video. Do tell me your thoughts on LEGO live action hybrids. How would you do it? You think it'll work? What an interesting future we're leading into. Let us know in the comments or on our Discord server, and I shall see you in a little bit.